Imagine waking up in the middle of the night inside a small tent, high in the frozen Ural Mountains. Outside, the temperature is below -30 degrees. The wind is screaming through the darkness. Then something happens. Not tomorrow, not an hour later, right now. Something so terrifying that 9 experienced hikers slash their own tent open from the inside. They don't stop to put on their boots. They don't grab their heavy winter jackets. They leave behind their food, their equipment, their cameras, and run barefoot into the freezing night. None of them would ever return alive. When rescuers finally reached the campsite, the tent was still standing. Everything was exactly where it should have been. Except the people. What could possibly frighten experienced mountaineers so badly that death in the snow seemed like the safer choice? More than 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. Days passed, but the hikers never returned. At first, their families weren't worried. The group was experienced. Delays were normal in the mountains. But when there was still no word, a massive search operation began. Soldiers, rescue teams, and volunteers climbed deep into the frozen Ural Mountains. After days of searching, they finally found the campsite. The tent was still standing, covered in snow. Everything the hikers needed to survive, their boots, their heavy winter clothing, their food, their cameras, was still inside. Then came the discovery that stunned everyone. The tent had not been torn apart by the wind. It had been cut open from the inside. Outside, a single line of footprints disappeared into the darkness. Bare feet, socks. No signs of panic. No signs of a struggle. Only a trail leading into the frozen wilderness, where the answers were waiting. The rescuers followed the trail into the frozen forest. Then, they found the first body. He wasn't wearing boots, only thin socks. Not far away, they discovered 2 more hikers beneath a large cedar tree. The remains of a small fire still lay between them. It looked as if they had desperately tried to survive the freezing night. Weeks later, as the snow slowly melted, the remaining bodies were finally found. That's when the mystery became even darker. Some hikers had suffered massive chest fractures. Others had devastating skull injuries. Yet there were almost no external wounds, no signs of a fight, no evidence of an attack. It was as if an invisible force had struck them and vanished without leaving a trace. The investigators had never seen anything like it. And this was only the beginning of the mystery. The investigation quickly became more confusing than anyone expected. The official reports answered some questions, but created even more. There were no signs that another group had attacked them. No footprints besides those of the 9 hikers. Their tent, equipment, and personal belongings were still there. Nothing had been stolen. Nothing suggested a struggle with another person. Investigators searched the mountain again and again, carefully examining every piece of evidence they could find. They questioned every possible explanation, but none of them matched all the facts. Every clue seemed to lead nowhere. The deeper they investigated, the more impossible the tragedy became to explain. In the end, the case was closed with a mysterious conclusion. The hikers had died because of an unknown compelling force. No one explained what that force was, and for decades, that single sentence has fueled one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Over the years, countless theories have tried to explain what happened on Dyatlov Pass. Some believed it was a powerful avalanche that forced the hikers to flee. Others argued that strange mountain winds created terrifying sounds in the darkness. Some suspected secret Soviet military tests. There were even rumors of classified weapons and hidden government experiments. Others pointed to radioactive traces found on some of the victims' clothing. And of course, many people believed something far more mysterious was hiding in those mountains. Yet every theory solved only part of the puzzle. Each one answered a few questions, but created new ones. More than 60 years later, no explanation has been accepted by everyone. The mystery of Dyatlov Pass remains one of the world's greatest unsolved cases. Decades later, the mystery attracted a new generation of researchers. Unlike the original investigators, they had access to satellite images, computer simulations, and modern scientific methods. Experts carefully studied the weather records, the mountain terrain, the movement of snow, and every surviving document from the original investigation. Some concluded that a rare type of slab avalanche may have forced the hikers to leave their tent in panic. Computer simulations showed that such a scenario was possible, but many experts remained unconvinced. They argued that the unusual injuries, the radioactive traces, the missing clothing, and several unexplained details could not be explained by a single theory. Even today, scientists continue searching for the truth. More than 60 years later, the mystery of Dyatlov Pass remains one of the world's greatest unsolved cases. More than 60 years have passed, yet some questions remain unanswered. Why did the hikers cut their tent from the inside instead of using the entrance? Why did they leave everything behind and run into the freezing darkness without proper clothing? What caused such devastating chest and skull injuries while leaving almost no external wounds? Why were radioactive traces found on some of their clothing? And why did experienced hikers make decisions that seemed completely irrational? Perhaps every theory explains one piece of the mystery, but none of them explains everything. Until every question has a convincing answer, the Dyatlov Pass tragedy will continue to fascinate historians, scientists, and millions of people around the world. Some mysteries fade with time. This one never did. On that freezing winter night, 9 experienced hikers entered the mountains. None of them ever returned. For more than 60 years, investigators, scientists, and ordinary people have searched for the answer. Countless theories have come and gone. Some sounded convincing. Others seemed impossible. Yet none of them has explained every piece of the puzzle. Perhaps the truth was buried beneath the snow, or perhaps it disappeared forever with those who never came home. The Dyatlov Pass tragedy is more than just an unsolved case. It is a reminder that nature can still hide secrets beyond our understanding. And sometimes, the greatest mysteries are not the ones we solve, but the ones that continue to ask questions long after everyone else has stopped searching.